somebody had said something about Big Daddy Kane, and then like 30 minutes later, he's talking on the radio, and next thing you know, you hear, hey, what's up, bro? Hey, stop! Kane beat the on the air.
You're doing too much. I need the stage. I need the stage, split boy. That ain't my problem.
When people hear the name Big Daddy Kane, they think hip-hop royalty, a smooth-talking legend with killer bars and timeless swagger. But what most don't realize is Kane wasn't just sharp with the pen. He was sharp in real life, too. Just like folks used to sleep on MC Hammer, calling him just a dance guy, until they found out he had serious street ties, Kane had his own hidden edge that left people stunned. He wasn't loud about it, but those who knew, knew. Kane didn't tolerate disrespect, not even a little.
I heard Big Daddy Kane actually had hands, man. Somebody, I
He did. Big Daddy Kane was known to beat people up. He was like, he just was hot-tempered. He definitely was known to put his hands on people.
Behind that velvet voice and polished delivery was a man who could flip the switch quick if you tried him. And don't think this is just talk. Big names in the game have co-signed it. Mike Tyson himself dropped a wild story that still gets talked about. Tyson said someone got bold and started running their mouth about Kane on the radio. But get this, less than an hour later, while the guy was still on air, Kane pulled up to the station and put hands on him right then and there. It was all going down live.
Somebody had said something about Big Daddy Kane, and then like 30 minutes later, he's talking on the radio, and next thing you know, you hear, hey, what's up, bro? Hey, stop! And Kane beat that on the air.
People tuning in could literally hear the madness happening through the speakers. Crazy. Now, Kane never came out and confirmed it himself, but he never denied it either. And the streets ran with it. His silence only made the story louder. Fast forward to August 26, 2023, Kane took the main stage at the Hip Hop 50 celebration at London's O2 Forum in Kentish Town, a moment fit for a pioneer who didn't just help build hip-hop, but also let it be known he wasn't the one to play with. And this event wasn't some small-time gig. The lineup was fire.
Big Daddy Kane talked about it. We heard him on the goddamn radio.
Mike, when was that?
In the 80s.
In the 80s?
Names like LG Onyx, Mazda Ace, and more had the crowd lit. But it was during Kane's set that things got wild. A masked dude walked right on stage like he belonged there, acting like he was headlining. That mystery figure turned out to be Comanche Sly from the UK crew Hijack. At first, Kane stayed cool. Maybe he thought Sly was just doing a little stunt and would bounce. But Sly kept hanging around trying to steal the moment. That's when Kane stopped the show cold and checked him. "You're doing too much, Playboy. I need the stage. You're doing too much." Then Kane gave him a little shove to get things moving. But Sly wasn't having it. He clapped back with something slick, and Kane fired back without hesitation. "That ain't my problem."
So what the heck? Just go
Tension was thick in the air. Next thing you know, Kane's peeling off his jacket like he's about to scrap right there on stage. The tension was electric, like something out of a movie. It was seconds from going all the way left until Kane's crew stepped in and cooled it down before fists flew. But the heat didn't stop there. Not even close. The very next day, on August 27th, Hijack clapped back online with their version of the chaos. And they didn't hold back one bit.
You're doing too much. I need the stage. I need the stage, split boy. That ain't my problem. That ain't my.
They went off, accusing the DJs and promoters of always bowing down to the American acts while pushing UK artists to the side. In a heated Facebook post, they ranted, "As per usual, the DJs and promoters of the show licked the Americans and disrespected the UK side of the culture by not letting us perform. You were always unprofessional clowns." They claimed Kane and his team weren't feeling it when they tried to step on stage. And they didn't stop there. They dragged the entire UK hip-hop industry. They wrote, "You promoters and DJs are the reason UK hip-hop never grew. Playing UK hip-hop only in the last 5 minutes of your radio shows to cover your whack bit." So yeah, even though Kane caught the spotlight in the moment, the real smoke was aimed at the whole system. Years of built-up tension just boiled over. But Kane? He kept it cool. No social media rants, no messy back and forth. When asked about it, he stayed focused on the bigger picture. In a later interview, he made his stance clear. He's all about bridging the gap between the old school legends and the new wave. "We had our shot. We did our thing," Kane said. We're still here, and we got fans who ride for our catalog. So we're not here to compete with the younger cats or try to take their spot. He even said he's open to building with artists like Lil Uzi Vert, Kodak Black, or the Migos, just to have a real sit down and share wisdom. I think that's what's important, when the past generation can sit down with the future and drop some real game. That's the energy Kane's rocking with now, still sharp, but stepping into that mentor role with lessons earned from experience.
This is my man, JC.
But here's the twist that keeps people talking. Over the years, there's been a bunch of whispers tying Kane to Brian Glaze Gibbs, one of NYC's most notorious figures from the streets. Whether it's facts or just barbershop rumors, the connection added major mystery to Kane's legacy. Nobody expected that. But underneath that tough guy image was a man on a mission. Big Daddy Kane was all about giving back and putting others in position to win. Even with all the respect he earned as one of the dopest MCs to ever rock a mic, Kane never acted too big for the next wave. He was all about lifting people up and opening real doors. One of the biggest examples? Kane spotted raw talent in a young, hungry Jay-Z and started bringing him on tour before anyone knew his name. Ice-T even dropped a gem saying, "I actually met Jay-Z with Kane. Kane brought Jay-Z over to my house." And Kane made it clear, Jay wasn't just some background guy. He wasn't a hype man, Kane explained. He made cameo appearances. When I'd leave the stage to switch outfits, I'd bring out Jay-Z and Positive K to freestyle till I came back. That's not just mentorship, that's how icons are born. Jay didn't just chill in the background either. He jumped on Kane's 1994 track Show Improved from the Daddy's Home album and popped up in the video too. But Kane wasn't done handing out opportunities. He also gave shine to two unknowns who'd later take over the world, Tupac and Biggie. That's right. Both Pac and Biggie got a shot to spit live freestyles during Kane's Madison Square Garden set. Imagine standing in the crowd that night and seeing two future legends getting their first taste of that spotlight on Kane's stage. Moves like that proved Kane wasn't just respected. He was the culture. His impact ran deep, and his stage became a launch pad for greatness. But before all the fame and legacy, Kane was just a Brooklyn kid trying to make something out of nothing. Born on September 10th, 1968, right in the heart of Brooklyn, Kane's grind started in the streets and the school halls. That's where he crossed paths with Mr. C, the DJ who'd become his right-hand man and a crucial part of his rise. By 1984, Kane connected with Biz Markie, and from there, things took off. That link turned into a brotherhood, with Kane even ghostwriting some of Biz's most classic lines. Eventually, they both became part of the legendary Juice Crew, the Queens-based squad led by super producer Marley Marl. That crew wasn't just hot, they defined the golden era of hip-hop. In 1987, Big Daddy Kane made his official mark, signing with Cold Chillin' Records, the powerhouse label run by Tyrone Williams, Marley Marl's manager, and Len Fichtelberg. That same year, he dropped his debut single, Raw, and man, that joint was an underground earthquake. It didn't just land, it exploded. Suddenly, Kane's name was buzzing in every borough. And that name, Big Daddy Kane, wasn't just some random pick. Kane came from the Kung Fu TV show, where David Carradine played a wandering fighter with serious skills. Big Daddy was lifted from a Vincent Price character in the 1963 film Beach Party. Put it together and boom, you got a name as unique as the man behind it. What really set Kane apart was his rapid-fire flow. Clean, confident, and lightning fast, even while battling asthma. No excuses, no limits, just bars that cut through beats like a blade. And Kane didn't just change how hip-hop sounded, he redefined how it looked. With that sharp, high-top fade, those sleek velour suits, and flashy four-finger rings, his drip was next level. He wasn't just stylish, he was the standard. And his name? It stood tall. King Asiatic, nobody's equal. That wasn't just a title. It was a whole statement. When he dropped It's a Big Daddy Thing, he made sure it had flavor from top to bottom. The album was loaded with 70s-inspired samples, including the ultra-smooth Smooth Operator and the Teddy Riley-produced I Get the Job Done, which climbed into the R&B top 40. Kane wasn't just spitting bars, he was breaking boundaries and crossing into new sounds without missing a beat. And when it came to lyricism, he was lethal on the mic. Just run back his verse on Marley Marl's classic posse cut, The Symphony. Kane went toe-to-toe with Juice Crew beasts like Craig G, Master Ace, and Cool G Rap, and held it down like a king. That verse helped stamp him as one of the most feared lyricists of his time. But don't get it twisted. Kane wasn't all flash and flare. He had depth and wasn't afraid to speak truth. In 1990, he showed up loud and clear on Public Enemy's Fear of a Black Planet with a bold verse on Burn Hollywood Burn. Teaming up with Chuck D and Ice Cube, Kane came straight for Hollywood's neck, calling out the twisted racist roles that were pushed during the Jim Crow era. It was raw, real, and unforgettable. Kane didn't just spit fire, he spoke truth that stung. He called out how black women were constantly boxed into tired, disrespectful stereotypes. One of his hardest-hitting bars came when he said, "As for playing a lawyer, out of the question. For what they play, Aunt Jemima's the perfect term." That line landed like a punch, exposing how the industry kept black women stuck in servant roles while shutting them out of powerful ones like lawyers or doctors. And here's the crazy part. Nearly 3 decades later, the same Aunt Jemima image Kane called out finally got pulled from shelves in 2020. That just shows Kane wasn't just ahead of the curve. He was way past it. While most rappers were just chasing hits, Kane was dropping knowledge and putting people on game, all while still dominating the charts. That same fearless energy followed him into his collabs too. In 1991, Kane teamed up with R&B legend Patti LaBelle for her album Burnin', spitting a slick verse on the single Feels Like Another One. Patti's powerhouse vocals blended with Kane's smooth but sharp flow. And the result? Straight heat.
Well, excuse me, take a few minutes to mellow out. Big Daddy Kane is on the...
The track popped off and proved Kane could slide between genres without even breaking a sweat. And he didn't just hop on a track and bounce. Kane pulled up for LaBelle's Live in New York concert video, showing the world he wasn't just a studio MC. He was a performer through and through, bringing stage presence that could match any artist in any lane. Kane even made waves on the big screen. In 1992, he dropped the explosive track Enough Respect for the Juice movie soundtrack, the same cult classic starring Tupac and Omar Epps, directed by Ernest Dickerson. The beat was high-powered, and Kane came in with machine gun bars that matched the film's wild, gritty energy perfectly. But one of the biggest jewels in Kane's crown, that came in 1991 too, when he took home a Grammy for Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group.
And black women in this profession, half for playing a lawyer, out of the question for what they played.
For his work on Quincy Jones's Back on the Block. That track wasn't just a song, it was a celebration of black culture, blending hip-hop, R&B, and soul with some of the biggest legends in music. And Kane being handpicked to be part of it, that spoke volumes about the respect he had in every corner of the industry. All through the 90s, Big Daddy Kane kept switching gears and pushing the envelope. He wasn't about playing it safe, never was. He started blending more R&B into his sound, trying out smoother, laid-back vibes. Some fans rocked with the new direction, while others were left scratching their heads. But Kane didn't care. He moved how he wanted to move.
Into the dragon, as I start the ranking, the technics, thinking, the rappers on the bandwagon. Feel the fury of the vinegar.
Around that same time, Kane's connection to the 5% Nation, a spiritual and cultural movement, started showing up heavy in his lyrics. The bars got deeper, the message more layered.
The game is staying tight, yeah. Forever playing right, play your haters saying he ain't right. What's the
A lot of people praised the shift, calling it powerful and real. But it also drew some pushback from folks who didn't fully get where he was coming from. Still, Kane stood on what he believed. He kept it raw and honest, no matter who was ready for it. For fans who weren't tapped into the 5% Nation's teachings, some of his lyrical choices in the 90s flew right over their heads. Albums like Looks Like a Job 4 earned respect from critics, but they didn't bring back that commercial blow-up Kane had with It's a Big Daddy thing. Still, he never vanished. Not even close. Kane kept grinding hard, doing shows, rocking stages, and keeping his legacy alive in the culture with or without chart hits. And Kane wasn't just about music, he slid into acting too. In 1993, he made his film debut in Posse, a black western directed by Mario Van Peebles. Kane played his role like a pro, holding it down with serious screen presence. That same year, he popped up in Robert Townsend's superhero comedy, The Meteor Man. Kane proved he could do more than spit bars, he could act too. But you already know, Kane wasn't built for the background. He stirred up major noise when he posed for Playgirl magazine, breaking necks and headlines at the same time. And if that wasn't bold enough, he took things even further by appearing in Madonna's scandalous photo book SEX. That book was full of steamy celeb shoots, and Kane's spot in it had everybody talking. Wild, risky, and unapologetic.
They used to be rocking the jewelry, rocking the suits, had the hairstyle, had the fade, you know what I mean, had the 3 cuts in his eyes, jewelry, everything. Like I said, his flow was rocking, man.
Then, in 1995, he linked up with MC Hammer, Tupac Shakur, and Danny Boy for Too Late Playa, a rare powerhouse collab that brought together serious names. The energy was raw, the chemistry real, and it showed Kane still had that magic touch. Right around that time, the streets started buzzing. Rumors flew that Big Daddy Kane might link up with Death Row East, Suge Knight's plan to expand the infamous West Coast label into East Coast territory. That move would have been wild, but the deal never went through, and Kane didn't miss a step. By 1997, he was back with the Juice Crew fam, teaming up with Frankie Cutlass on the Cipher Part 3, a throwback banger that showed love to hip-hop's golden era. Then, in 1998, Kane dropped Veterans Day, his last solo studio album, so far. It didn't bring the same firestorm of hype or acclaim as his earlier classics, but it was still a moment. The album marked the end of an era for one of the realest voices hip-hop ever had. Veterans Day got mixed reviews, and the sales didn't move mountains, but Kane didn't trip. He didn't pull some dramatic exit or fade into silence. Through the 2000s and beyond, Kane kept popping up strong. Whether it was surprise collabs, live performances, or just blessing stages across the globe, he made sure folks never forgot who he was. By the early 2000s, Kane proved his legacy wasn't stuck in the past. It was still in motion. In 2000, he came correct with a sharp verse on Tony Touch's Peacemaker mixtape, going toe-to-toe with Cool G Rap and KRS-One. That verse wasn't just a nod to the old days. Kane came with heat, showing he could still hang with the best of the best. As the years rolled on, Kane leaned fully into collab mode, linking up with both golden era legends and new school underground heat. He didn't care about trends or clout. He was in it for the craft. He worked with iconic groups like A Tribe Called Quest, brought the soul alongside Jurassic 5, matched the sharp minds of Little Brother, and even vibed with turntable king DJ Babu from the Beat Junkies. Kane wasn't just coasting off his name, he stayed in tune, stayed involved, and kept showing love to the culture that raised him. He was proof that real MCs don't fade out. They evolve and stay present. And Kane wasn't just popping up for features, he was still dropping heat on his own. He released 2 heavy-hitting singles that showed his pen was just as sharp as ever. One of them, The Man, the Icon, produced by none other than The Alchemist, the king of raw, grimy beats and street-flavored storytelling. The other was Any Type of Way, laced by the legendary DJ Premier, known for those timeless head-nodding classics. On that Premier track, Kane let it fly. He tackled life in post-9/11 New York with realness most rappers were too scared to touch. He broke down the paranoia, the tension in the air, and the political pressure gripping the city. One of his standout lines, "Giuliani got in New York." Kane wasn't sugarcoating nothing. Then came the gut punch, "Looking like it's Amistad." That one line packed history and heat. He wasn't just referencing the slave ship. He was exposing how deeply the oppression still ran during Giuliani's reign. Kane wasn't just chasing punchlines. He was dropping facts straight from the gut, painting a picture of a city still struggling under the weight of injustice. Then in 2003, Kane flipped the script again, teaming up with British trip-hop group Morcheeba for the single What's Your Name. It was a whole different flavor. Kane's hard-hitting flow gliding over Morcheeba's smooth, chilled-out vibes. And the wild part? It worked. Kane showed once again that he could move through any sound and still keep it 100. But in 2005, Kane finally got that long overdue industry love when VH1 honored him at their annual Hip Hop Honors Show. And it wasn't just a little tribute. It was a full-blown celebration of his legacy. Heavyweights like T.I., Common, and Black Thought stepped up to perform Kane's classic joints, each one clearly influenced by Kane's swagger, wordplay, and legendary flow. Then came the part that had the whole place lit. Kane himself hit the stage and tore it down with Warm It Up Kane. And he didn't come alone. He brought out his OG dancers, Scoob and Scrap Lover, and the crowd lost it. The energy was straight throwback, pure 90s stage power. And Kane, still sharp, still smooth, and still showing why his name rings out through every era. By 2006, Big Daddy Kane was still turning heads. And not just in the US. He linked up with UK duo the Stanton Warriors for their track Get Wild Off This off Stanton Sessions Volume 2. That verse proved it. Even across the pond, Kane's voice carried serious weight. his bars hit just as hard overseas as they did in Brooklyn. That same year, Kane stepped into a legendary moment at Hot 97's Summer Jam. The lineup was stacked. Wu-Tang Clan, Rakim, Q-Tip, and Busta Rhymes brought the heat. But when Busta dropped a tribute to New York hip-hop, having Kane on that stage wasn't just a nice touch, it was mandatory. Kane helped build that foundation, and he is New York hip-hop. And just when you thought he might chill, Kane flipped the script again. In 2013, he kicked off a brand new chapter by forming a live band called The Last Supper, teaming up with R&B vocalist Showtime and the Lifted Crew straight out of NYC. It was Kane doing what he always did best, reinventing himself without losing that raw essence. That same year, on March 26th, Kane and The Last Supper dropped their project Back to the Future, a slick mix of live instruments and classic Kane bars. It was smooth, powerful, and proof the legend could still evolve without losing his bite. But Kane wasn't done making noise. In June 2020, while the world was in chaos, voices rising in protest, and communities demanding justice, Kane came right back with a powerful response. He dropped Enough, a gritty, emotional track that tackled police brutality and racial injustice head-on. It wasn't just a song, it was a statement. Kane stepped up like always and used his voice when it mattered most. Big Daddy Kane isn't just a legend because of what he did back then. He's iconic because he never stopped standing for something. He's widely seen as one of the most technically skilled and game-changing MCs from hip-hop's golden age, and his name still gets mentioned with the greatest to ever do it. Even MTV gave him a major salute, ranking him number 7 on their list of the greatest MCs of all time. Huge respect from one of the biggest platforms in the game. But that wasn't all. In Kool Moe Dee's classic book, There's a God on the Mic, the true 50 greatest MCs, Kane landed even higher. Number 4. Another legend giving Kane his well-earned flowers. And on About.com's top 50 MCs of our time list, Kane came in at number 3. A solid nod to his lyrical skill, influence, and unshakable presence in the culture. Even The Source, known as the Bible of hip-hop, had to give it up for Big Daddy Kane. In 2012, they ranked him number 8 on their top 50 lyricists of all time list. That's major love in a culture where bars are everything, and only the sharpest pens get that kind of shine. And the props didn't stop there. All Music came through and gave Kane his flowers too, praising not just his lyricism but his entire legacy. They broke it down plain and simple. Kane's finest work stands tall among the best in hip-hop history. From flipping words like a magician to shaping the sound and style of an entire era, Kane's impact can't be denied. All Music didn't just salute his bars, they went deep on the vibe Kane brought to the game. That slick, smooth, player-style swagger, it defined cool for a whole generation. Kane didn't just spit. He walked with confidence, dressed like a boss, and carried himself like royalty. That whole aura, it became a blueprint for future stars to follow. They called him an enormously talented battle MC with top-tier technique and razor-edge precision. His flow was airtight, his wordplay was elite, and when it came to going toe-to-toe with other rappers, Kane shut it down. He didn't just rap, he owned every moment, whether in the booth or rocking a live stage. His rhythm, delivery, and that magnetic energy made him stand out even in a time filled with lyrical killers. What made Kane special was how he made the complex look easy, juggling rhyme schemes while keeping that effortless, cool swagger and confidence that couldn't be faked. Critics and fans still hold his first 2 albums as straight-up classics. Long Live the Kane, 1988, and It's a Big Daddy Thing, 1989, weren't just dope projects, they were culture-shifting. These records helped define the sound of late 80s and early 90s hip-hop, showing the world Kane could do it all. Gritty street tales, flex-heavy bars, smooth love joints, and wild party anthems. Even Rolling Stone had to acknowledge the consistency in Kane's career. They pointed out how he managed to stay critically respected through all the changes in the game. That's not easy, but Kane made it look like light work, staying solid, sharp, and always undeniable. To bring it all home, The Ultimate Guide to Hip-Hop and R&B by Cameron and Devin Lazar said it loud and clear. Big Daddy Kane is straight up one of the greatest lyricists of his era. And here's the crazy part. Artists today are still name-dropping him, proving his influence is locked deep into the DNA of modern hip-hop. Music journalist Peter Shapiro even took it up another level, calling Kane perhaps the most complete MC ever. And that ain't just about rhymes, it's the whole package. We're talking deadly lyricism, presence, signature style, culture-shifting impact, and the kind of innovation that reshaped the game from the ground up. Kane's blueprint is stamped all over the biggest names in the game today. Even Eminem, one of the coldest, most technical spitters ever, showed love directly on Yellow Brick Road from his Encore album. That's real respect. Not just a shout out, but a salute from one giant to another. From battling in the park to flipping the fashion script, from raw street wisdom to conscious fire, Kane brought it all and did it with flair. Whether it's OG fans, new school lyricists, or straight up hip hop heads studying the culture, everyone agrees. Big Daddy Kane isn't just a pioneer, he's a forever legend in this game. If you felt this breakdown of a true icon, don't just dip out. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to stay locked in for more real hip-hop stories. Share this with your crew, pass the history around, and let's keep giving these legends their flowers while they're here. Much love, and we'll catch you on the next one.